All right, what's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? I am going to tell you how I got into cybersecurity. I'm going to give you the story from the beginning to the end, okay? And hopefully this story will inspire others to take the track that I took. It is a tough market right now, I'm going to be honest with y'all, but I have some tips and tricks and techniques. I'll also talk about the market as well, so we'll have a little bit of chit chat about that, okay? So I'm at Brass Tacks, one of my favorite coffee shops in Houston, Texas. It's hot as hell and I'm in the shade. Got me a little matcha. And good for me, good for my energy. So I did not go to school for computer science, right? I was always good at computer science, but I did not go to school for it, right? Good at computers, could run antivirus, AV systems, take apart a computer and look at it, etc. But it wasn't my true major, okay? So when I graduated school, I graduated with a psychology degree, and then I did counseling for about 2 years. For me, I just said that I would like to reach a lot of people, right? I want to expand my reach. And the reason why I wanted to expand my reach was I wanted to help a lot of people in my community. Like, hey, how can I help you improve your life, right? What can I just do to, help communities in needs that may not have the best financial situation or, access to education or healthcare, etc., right? That's always been a goal of mine, right? And I got into IT because number one, it doesn't take a lot of college, right? I wish I would have known that, but it doesn't take you don't have to go to a 4-year university or college, right? You can stick out 2 years. I would suggest 2 years at a community college, but most of this stuff is self-taught. Like, you can teach yourself how to hack or program or, certain cybersecurity softwares, etc. And if you think about it, if you go to school, whatever they teach you is going to be obsolete within 6 months to a year, right? This stuff is forever changing, right? We see the adoption of AI, etc., right? So I wish I would have known, like, hey, could have went to community college and saved me some bucks, right? Because I am in debt. I am in debt because I changed schools. I used to play soccer, so I was at a Division III college, tried to do Division I, went to a D2. So college racked up for me, and that's what it is. Most Americans get into that college debt trap, and it's up to you to figure out how you're going to pay out those loans, right? I wish college was free, right? But they'll never do that in the United States. So you can go to college, you can go to community college, whatever one you feel like is best for you, but I suggest that you just go to community college and get some CS credits and get that associate's, right? Unless someone is paying for you to go to a 4-year university at a name brand, I would just stick to community college, right? So you got your community college, your associate's degree. The next thing for you to do is certifications, right? Now, there's a love-hate with certifications, but certifications tells an employer that you are up to date on the newest technologies or the newest cyber threats, etc., right? For me, myself, right? So I started with the A+ certification, Network Plus, Security Plus, AWS, right? And now I'm studying for CISSP. If you're going into IT or cybersecurity, I suggest, number one, that you get that Cisco CCNA, or you get your Network Plus. One of those two. Those are good. Knowing the backbone of a computer network, understanding computers in a simplified sense, right? It gets you up there, right? It gets you understanding computers more than the people next to you, right? And that's what you want. It is a competitive landscape, right? So you get certified, right? And you have something that you can show employers that, hey, this is my knowledge. This is what I've proved, right? On paper, and this is what I proved in the industry. Okay. So once I got my certifications, man, it was on, right? Going from counseling to IC, I started at a medical company, and I was just doing a little bit of help desk there, configuring devices, resetting devices, helping doctors and nurses with medical carts, etc. And then, I moved on. And one thing that is underrated that a lot of people don't do is volunteer work, right? So many organizations need volunteer work, like you have a volunteer matches, a website where you can see if organizations need help with IT or cybersecurity or securing their data. And you want to use that as your advantage, because even though if it's not paying, right, you still can put that on your resume, right? That is important. Having that on your resume, having that as some type of experience, right? What have you given to other? How have you served people, right? And still, even if you work in your community, teaching people about simple cybersecurity or IT functionalities, the basics, right? Man, how do you secure your electronics or your IoT devices, right? That is valuable. That is something that will forever follow you, right? And then you have someone to vouch for what you've done in the field, right? What you've done to serve them. So you can do things like that, right? And it is one of the only fields where you can make your own experience, right? So that was my approach, right? I started help desk, and then from help desk, I started to seek out new opportunities. And on the side, I would do some community service, right? I do the community service, and I'll put that into a portfolio and a resume, right? Portfolios are good to show your work in real time. Resumes are good just to give to employers or people who want to vouch for you or inquire about your work, etc. So once I did that, I started getting different jobs, right? So I have the degree, I have the certifications, and now I'm at jobs, right? And now my goal is, once I get the jobs, is to start going to better opportunities, right? It is what it is, right? Employers are going to cut people for AI, or you as an employee go where you're wanted, right? Think of yourself as an athlete, right? Who's paying you the most money, and where are the opportunities for you to grow, right? And employers, they understand it too. It's like no hard feelings. We couldn't give you what you needed. Please explore your options, right? So I started working at a university, and then at the university, I still did a little bit of help desk work, and then I started touching a lot of different things, right? And this was my introduction to cybersecurity. But at the university, I would do some networking. I'll pull on some cables and be like, hey, where does this go? Like, I'd ask the networking team, like, how do I do this? Because networking and having your Ethernet cables is crazy, man. But you get that experience, man. When you're on help desk, man, help desk is fun, right? Number one, because you're solving different problems. But number two, you get exposure to a lot of different things. Okay, from management to asset management, cloud, networking, infrastructure, etc. Right? So don't snub your nose up at help desk, even though it might pay like 55, 60, should be paying 70 now the way the economy is going. But don't put your nose up to it, right? It is a good opportunity. I know you may have to start from the bottom, but good opportunity just to prove your worth and actually mess with different areas of IT and cybersecurity. So I did that for a few years. And along the way, right, I knew I was interested in getting into cybersecurity. So what I did was, the cybersecurity analyst, I asked to do a pseudo apprenticeship. Right. Anyone who's at your firm that's in cybersecurity, you can ask for a pseudo apprenticeship. Just be respectable about it. Be sincere about it. Don't try to rush the process, but actually say, hey, how can I make your life easier? How can I help you out? Right. And you'll be surprised. You'll be like, man, I'm getting cooked right now. You can, help me monitor these assets, or you can install the agents on these new laptops that are about to be provisioned, etc. You can do a lot of different things, right? But it doesn't even have to be someone at your job. It can be someone else at another company that you have a good relationship with, right? You can make your experience, right? And there's plenty of websites online where you can practice with open source projects, right? And put that on your resume, right? Just stay active, right? That's one thing I would say. Just stay active. Like a person like myself, I've had my own business teaching cybersecurity, but staying active and actually working with real life threats is something you always want to do. It just keeps you in the game. It keeps you sharp. Right. So in this field, it is a merit-based field, right? You get paid on what you can actually do, improve. And once you get in, your job is to convince others that you can actually do the work. Right. And sometimes it's hard. I mean, I'll talk about this in another video, but you do have forces in politics that stop you from even enjoying the work, or stop you from actually doing a good job. And there's managers, there's companies that can lie on you and say, hey, you didn't do this job properly, right? It's all about corporate politics, human politics, right? So in another video, right, I'll teach y'all about managing human interaction, because that is like 80% of the job, right? Knowing human psychology and understanding folks, and testing the temperature in various rooms, right? That is going to be a big thing in your career, right? Consider this: 80% of the job is social interaction, 20% of the job is pressing buttons. It is what it is, right? But after I started working, at the university, I would do a little contract gigs here and there, right? I've done some for banks and, social media companies, etc. But my next step was a Fortune 500 company. I won't name the company, but to get there, sometimes it's just luck. And for me, it was sheer luck, right? So at this point, I have about 5 certifications. I have my college degree. I've been networking. I've been talking to different people. I've been showing people my portfolio, my work. I've really been just getting my face out there, right? And that is the biggest thing you want to do in your career. Get your face out there and just work, right? Work while you have the chance, okay? Because you have, a 25 year span, and then that's it, man. You start losing your brain capacity, and you're not the same person that you were 10 years ago, etc., right? Things are just moving much more slower. So when I got to the Fortune 500 company, that was just sheer luck. I had a mentor. We had a conversation on the phone. He said, hey, there's a position opening up at this company. You should apply for it. I applied. I got a call back, right? But you also have to think, right? This is what was in 2020. 2020, there was a mass hiring boom, right? In technology, right? Because people were like, I'm going home, or I'm not working, because I don't know what's about to happen. right? So they hired on thousands, if not millions of people globally to work in the tech sector, okay? And now it's 2024, 2025. It's the off shipping of that mass hiring, right? So you'll see a lot more layoffs, right? A lot more PIPs, right? Like improvement performance plans and stuff like that. But we'll talk about that. But when I was at the Fortune 500 company, that's when I earned my AWS cloud security certification, right? So you can kind of see the patterns of, hey, once I got into the industry, I just upskilled, I sharpened my skill set, I network more. So now I'm at this Fortune 500 company. This is a chance to talk to other people that are at other Fortune 500 companies, right? This is your chance to go to San Francisco, 2 times out the year and just network, right? Network, but network with intention. Because I will tell you this, you will meet people who will network with you, but they will do it out of spite, or they will do it just because, you may seem friendly, but a lot of contacts that you get, right, you're probably only going to talk to 10% of them, right? So when I say network with intention, actually know about this person's life, understand, what they've gone through, understand their journey of how they built their own career, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all humans and life happens, right? No one wants to talk about work all the time, right? But just understand that genuine human relationships are what give you opportunities, and they actually give you the jobs that you want, right? So at this Fortune 500 company, I saw things that I never thought I would see, right? New technology, the most brilliant people that I've ever sat next to. And from there, it's really just maintaining your composure, delivering on time, upskilling, and showing that you want to make a difference, right? Now, I could talk about the corporate politics all day and, how it is a dog-eat-dog environment, but that is for another video, okay? That is my trajectory of how I got into cybersecurity from being in counseling, right? And again, I will repeat the steps you have to take. If you don't have anything to do and you want to get into IT or cybersecurity, number one, go to community college. Take those CS courses, and then number two is get certified, right? A+, CCNA or Network Plus. I would suggest CCNA. It's a little bit more respected. And then your Security Plus, right? That's a must. And then if you want to go in the cloud, either AWS or Microsoft Azure. All right, you got those certifications, and then now it's time to find an internship or community service or volunteer, okay? That should be easy. Talk to somebody in your community, ask the community college or the university for help, find an internship, and actually do that. After that, it is apply to jobs or take a job that you may not want to do. I suggest help desk, go into help desk, and do the best that you can. Put your head down, do the best that you can until a cybersecurity opportunity comes. Before that cybersecurity opportunity comes, whoever is in cybersecurity at your job or your internship, ask for a shadow session or a pseudo shadow session just to get that experience. Okay, go online, find ways you can get experience, go on open source projects, right? It's just going to take time, but you'll get it. And then after you get into cybersecurity, it is about learning new technologies, being open to new innovations, and actually learning on the fly, right? And I also suggest that you take at least 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day just to read up on some new articles or sharpen your skill set, whether you're penetration testing, etc. Okay. From then on, it is about managing your career and managing humans, social interactions, right? It is a chess game from there on out. I promise you, it is a chess game, right? So yeah, that is my abbreviated way of how to get into cybersecurity, how I got into cybersecurity. Now I'm going to talk about the job market. All right, let me take a sip of this matcha real quick. The job market in the U.S. stinks. It is terrible. It's horrible. People cannot get jobs. People cannot get jobs coming out of school. Okay, so how do we combat this? Well, number one, just please make very great relationships with people who are in the field and share your portfolio of what you've done, what work you've done, right? And it sucks because AI is cutting into cybersecurity. I'm gonna just be real with y'all, it is. You have to consistently prove your work. If you're at a company right now and you're doing IT, stay put for a little bit, right? Don't jump the gun unless you feel like you have a backup plan. If you're at a cybersecurity job right now, don't jump the gun. Just hold your job, right? Someone like me, I am an entrepreneur. I did make a company that taught cybersecurity, and it's tough, right? Because a lot of people aren't paying right now. Americans are in high debt, overusing credit cards, etc. And you have to understand, a lot of companies are going bankrupt as well, right? So what I'll say to you is keep your head up, right? Make very strong connections and upskill into something that is highly needed, in demand. If you have to go into AI, go into AI. And someone coming from college, right, they should have AI in your curriculum, but if they don't, start doing it yourself, right? Because there is some AI functionalities you can use in cybersecurity on EDR platforms or threat detection platforms, right? But what you want to do is you want to make yourself as marketable as ever, right? You want to show people that you have those AI capabilities, whether it's, prompt engineering or data annotation. You have to be very versatile in this day and age, right? But don't make any crazy moves until the market opens, right? And I would also tell you, explore your options, right? Look in foreign markets as well, where cybersecurity is needed. I saw a young lady, I think she was in Thailand. Open your options, but the U.S. market is cooked right now, right? So, keep your head down, continue to perform great work, and you should be good, right? But I don't want to scare anybody who wants to get into IT or cybersecurity. It's a skill that will always be needed. You just have to find the angle of what is in demand and how can I make myself relevant, right? So I hope this helps. Leave your comments, subscribe. I'll be dropping more videos, and I'll answer your comments and tell you what's needed to get into cybersecurity, okay? So thank you for listening to my story. Really appreciate it. Hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next video.